Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talk Some More. In case you missed it, I uploaded a video earlier this afternoon at hugotalks.com. It's not available on YouTube, about India and asking what is going on over there. Subscribe to hugotalks.com to get updates whenever I upload a video at the site, as many videos are now not uploaded to YouTube due to censorship. So a bit of a change of pace. This isn't usually what I would cover, but not only do I find this one of the most sad and pitiful things I have read, there's also something not quite right about it. Something sinister, in my opinion, and I'll explain. But bear with me, okay? So really at this time, when I look through the mainstream media now, I see very little in it that isn't placed there. There are very few things that appear that are like, this thing happened and they then reported on it. Very few. And whatever is reported and whatever is not reported is down to selection that suits that particular agenda at that moment. So we have this seemingly silly, quirky story of this man here, the sad Sainsbury's car park man. And what I find odd, this story today, is that it is syndicated across nearly all platforms. Daily Mail, The Sun, The Mirror, The Independent, The Telegraph, etc., etc. Why is this? So here it is. Dad completes 6-year mission to park in every bay of his local Sainsbury's. It says here, after 6 long and grueling years, a dad of 2 has finally completed his painstaking quest of parking in every bay of his local supermarket. Gareth Wild kept a colourful spreadsheet to track his progress and has put together a detailed map of the Sainsbury's car park showing the best and worst spaces to use. He says, I've been going to the store for a while and part of me really enjoys the mundane things in life and trying to gamify them. Okay, so look, it goes on and on about this pointless, silly, sad, pitiful individual who feels he has made some kind of achievement by parking in every space in the Sainsbury's car park. I mean, what? This woeful, stupid story, it goes on. It then says, to make sure he kept track of his progress, Gareth split each block of the car park into lettered and coloured categories with numbered spaces, which he ticked off on a corresponding spreadsheet. And here you see the graphs and his diagrams. It then says, presenting the Excel document, he said, the spreadsheet has been given a bit of extra razzle-dazzle to spruce it up a bit for presentation, but this is it. This is 6 years of monotony. When asked why he didn't include the dates he parked in every single space, Gareth said, honestly, not a day goes by that I don't regret starting with the dates, because by the time I started thinking how useful those dates would have been, I was too far into the project. I could have done half a data set, but what's the point? It keeps me awake at night. This could have been something even bigger. Just imagine what sort of mapping you could have done with that data. Now, this is just the most absolutely pointless story I've ever come across. And now I know what you're asking. You're saying, Hugo, why are you telling us about this loser and this stupid story? Well, like I've said before, nothing in the mainstream media by accident, especially something like this, is there randomly. And here we see this story by this guy who is a nobody. It appears all over the press. I mean, it's not even a story, is it? I mean, now looking into this a little bit more, you can see that this person posted about his amazing achievement yesterday on Twitter. And as far as I can see, he says he's been doing this for 6 years, but he's never mentioned it before on his Twitter page. So am I expected to believe that this person, he tweets about his 6-year Odyssey adventure, the daring challenge of parking in every space in Sainsbury's car park just yesterday, but then 24 hours or less later, that story magically appears in every newspaper, from the Telegraph to the Independent to the Daily Mail? No, this does not happen by accident. There is something very much deliberate about this story. This is, I believe, some form of psychological testing of the public. looking and analysing maybe their reactions, some form of social conditioning, a very subtle use of it. Another way of looking at this article is that it amplifies obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. The person involved in the article states he couldn't get to sleep at night, thinking about his graphs. I mean, come on. There are many people that suffer from OCD, which I believe must have gotten far worse over the last year due to the brainwashing of hand washing, cleanliness, social distancing, and the rules of six, and all of these specific regulations that we have put upon us. It must have made OCD sufferers far, far worse if they were suffering with it in the first place. And here is an article of this nobody who mentions this on Twitter yesterday and is now in every newspaper across the land. I mean, OCD is based around fear, is it not? You know, like the fear of a bug being in your bed and having to continually check it for spiders or something before you go to bed. And hasn't the government openly stated that they wanted to put fear into people so they would follow policies? Did they not say that? That certain members of the public need to feel significantly threatened to comply with the rules. It says here, OCD is the fear network of the brain sending a signal that something is wrong and needs to be done about it immediately. OCD only reports on feared consequences that are important to a person. And here we have a story, an article that not only focuses on someone who does something that has those characteristics, actions that display OCD characteristics, but it also paints the picture that by parking your car in every spot in Sainsbury's over 6 years is some kind of great achievement and should be rewarded, putting this person up on some sort of pedestal, putting him in 6 or 7 or 8 national newspapers the following day. And for doing what? For doing what exactly? What, for doing something very dull? For doing something incredibly boring and tedious? For counting things you don't need to? For filling in statistics that are unnecessary? Isn't that what robots do? Isn't that what computers do? Is this the type of activity now to be championed by the press? Is this just the first step into socially engineering the dehumanization of people and turning them into semi-humans for the Great Reset? Is that the idea? Or am I just going a little bit crazy tonight? Maybe I am, but it just seems very odd to me, really odd. Maybe I'm just looking into this too much. You can tell me in the comments. I mean, we've seen this type of thing before with celebrities, like the Kardashians, that are put up on a pedestal by the mainstream. And what are they? Vacuous, material worshipping empty heads. That isn't something to look up to. And neither is this person and his achievement of parking a car in every space of the car park for 6 years and writing it all down. I don't know. You know, maybe I am seeing too much into this. It just bugged me. And I wouldn't have even mentioned it if it had just appeared in the one tabloid, but in all of them on the same day, and it being such a stupid story. I mean, these psychos that are running the world, that are running the government and therefore running the media, they're obsessed with control. They're obsessed with social engineering. They want you to accept things before they even offer you to them. And while one article like this isn't going to change anything massively, it's the gradual drip of articles over weeks, over months, over years that can attempt to socially change the way people think and feel. So yeah, you know, I get a lot of emails, people concerned with what is happening at the moment. Look, and they are afraid. You know, don't be afraid. You have to remember they are continually trying to influence us through the mainstream media. Like that article I was just talking about. It's them trying to convince us to do this or that. If they were so powerful, why would they continually need to do this? I think these people, these control freaks, these psychos, they're going to self-destruct at some point. There's so many crazy stories coming out, so many conflicting stories, And a lot of them don't make a lot of sense. I think they are reaching too far all the time, because I don't think they're getting what they want. And part of that is to try and make you afraid with these constant stories. So much of it is illusion. Just ignore them. Don't give them your energy. Okay, that's enough of me rambling. As always, thanks for listening. Come and subscribe to the tribe at hugotalks.com to get notifications of all videos, including the ones I don't upload on YouTube. And I'll see you later.